The Injustice universe is far and away the most advanced scenario ever rationalized to make two cartoon characters hit each other. Hey, it's Game Rant, and here are the 10 most overpowered Injustice 2 characters ranked. Number 10. Superman. Oh yeah, you know this list is going to be interesting when we're starting off with the big blue Boy Scout, or at least he was a Boy Scout before turning into a tyrannical ruler of Earth following the death of his wife Lois Lane and his unborn child, which was caused by his own hands while experiencing a hallucination from Scarecrow's gas mixed with kryptonite. Look, a lot happened. And if you read the oh-so-incredible comics, you know it takes several more terrible turns before the Man of Steel eventually goes all Mussolini. And true to his main universe counterpart, Superman is obscenely powerful, but he's never really learned to fight, mostly throwing his opponents around like your nephew moving a couch. His lack of the sweet science is what puts him at a great disadvantage. More on that later. Number 9. Green Arrow. Yeah, you want to know how a human like Green Arrow is better than a Kryptonian like Kal-El? Well, we're not going to go all Hideo Kojima on you, but the answer is nanomachines and magical pills, which make non-metahumans able to take a Superman punch to the dome and still come back kicking. A silly concept to be sure, but one that allows for Oliver Queen to show off his refined skills as the single best archer in the whole DC universe, with plenty of gimmicked arrows to freeze and shock his opponents. But it's that darn bow spin that really sends Green Arrow into a fan favorite, as it's great for both defense and offense. See, those magical pills don't seem so stupid now, do they? Number 8. Supergirl. Depending on your understanding of Supergirl's origins, she experienced life well into her adolescence before being brought into Earth, where she obtained her superpowers thanks to, say it with me now, come on, the effects of the yellow sun on a Kryptonian's DNA. That's right, way to go. But this also means Supergirl has a more tactile sense of the world around her. Imagine a fighter with all the powers of Superman and much greater finesse than that clumsy brute. Her super speed make it easy to close any gap, and that darn frozen breath will leave her opponents to look on as she hurls them into space, which seems a bit excessive. Number 7. Black Adam. The hierarchy of power in the Injustice universe is about to change, huh? Remember when The Rock tried to do that? Well, thankfully, Black Adam in Injustice 2 is much better than that forgettable film. Utilizing the magic of Shazam makes him dangerous, as magic is a vulnerability to most super beings. Black Adam is obnoxious to fight and great fun to play as, calling for storm clouds to shock his enemies and capitalize with some brutal slugs and throws. Plus, he gets so mad he blows up a whole pyramid each fight. That, seems pretty wasteful actually, but hey, who's gonna tell him? Number 6. Dr. Fate. See everything we said before about magic? Well, you can also apply that to Dr. Fate, whose orb-based powers turn entire sections of the stage to his advantage on the fly. Dr. Fate is a major ally to Batman and those standing against Superman in the Injustice universe, providing shelter for those heroes in hiding at the Tower of Fate, which is sealed away in another dimension far away from anything a Kryptonian could simply fly to. But in battle, his snappy projectiles are useful for almost any range, overwhelming opponents and make it easier to quick teleport to finish them off. We're not exactly sure which medical school teaches this, but clearly Dr. Fate took notes. Number 5. Batman. Well, duh. Batman is already one of the best fighters in all of the DC universe, learning several martial arts in his training for his crusade against crime. Now combine that with the aforementioned magical nanomachine pills, and you've got yourself a viable threat to Superman, or anyone else for that matter. And best of all, Bruce doesn't leave his toys at home, using a grappling hook to close in on his enemies or keeping his distance with mindful use of batarangs. So why exactly is he wearing all that extra armor? Well, it's actually in the comics when Superman decides to put down Batman permanently. So the armor is actually holding Batman in as much as it's protecting him. Ugh. Number 4. The Flash. The Flash is yet another classic character tasked with picking between Superman and Batman in the New World Order. In the comics, it's never so cut and dry. Barry Allen sees the best in everyone, to a fault, and constantly tries to rationalize the new direction Clark Kent has taken since the death of his family. But even he gives up and joins Batman after several disturbing decisions by an increasingly power-hungry Superman. The Flash is a perfect character for a fighting game because his super speed makes his dynamic moveset seem impossible to overcome. If you're a fan of Scorpion and his teleporting, you're definitely going to want to check out The Flash. Number 3. Catwoman. Selena Kyle is so much more than a simple jewel thief, even if that's her favorite pastime. Her incredible acrobatic skills and advanced martial arts can go toe-to-toe with Batman on most days. Now you give her superpowers, and she's the closest thing this game has to Wolverine. Catwoman's whipping and claw strikes make the entire screen her domain, even more so than the Flash. Her speed and combos are extremely difficult to break off once she gets started, and she's not above destroying a whole motorcycle if it means winning a fight. Though knowing her track record, it's likely stolen, so it's a victimless crime. Number 2. Wonder Woman. One of the only superheroes who seems to understand the assignment, Wonder Woman brings her armaments of war, including the Lasso of Truth, Aegis' shield, and the Sword of Athena. Yes, she's already got the superpowers of a god, and could easily go up against Superman with her bare hands, but she's not interested in a fair fight, instead pulling down her opponents for a quick slice, or bashing them with distance-closing shield attacks. Wonder Woman is far more sympathetic and agreeable to Superman's goal of a crime-free world, even if that means decapitating a few of her old friends along the way. Number 1. Deadshot. Deadshot is hands down one of the coolest characters in all of the DC universe, and could be best summarized as an evil Batman, but that would underserve his rich personality. His solution to combat is so basic, it's almost suspect, which is his extensive use of firearms and explosives. How on earth could those earthly tools hurt these characters, especially when they're laced with nanomachines, is anyone's guess. But we won't complain as long as we get to play as him. His constant shooting make it practically impossible to avoid damage, and as quickly as he's rolled in for a combo, he can roll back out. Hands down the best character in Injustice 2. Now if only they would give him his original top hat from the comics. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this list. Who's your main in Injustice 2? Let us know in the thread below. Keep clicking around here in Game Rant, and we'll see you next time.